Hey there, action fan. Lock the doors and hide the explosives because the stupid private is going off script. Welcome to my Legend of Korra vlog, well I guess voice log, / rant / sort of me going on for a few minutes about what I feel like the problems that we're dealing with around moving to this online format are going to be, and kind of the problems with the series so far. So let's tackle the elephant in the room first. The Legend of Korra is only going to be broadcast online for the rest of Season 3. For the life of me, I don't understand this decision at all. Or, to be more exact, I don't get how Nick let it get to this level. Because really, I feel like there's only one party responsible for Legend of Korra needing to go to this format, and that's Nick, the actual people who set the schedule at Nick. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with the show. I feel like the quality of Korra is as good as it's ever been, and it's even a slight improvement over Season 2. The action's great, the story's good, but it hasn't been getting good ratings, I guess, and it's really easy to understand why, because Nick hasn't advertised it enough. I'm going to quote one of the greatest showmen ever, P.T. Barnum, when I say, "Without promotion, a terrible thing happens. Nothing." I mean, I've found Korra to be just the most singularly frustrating thing I've reviewed in a long time, because I had no idea that it was coming out. Now, I admit that's partly my fault because I'm not as jacked into the social networking as I could be, but on the other hand, it's not like I don't watch Nickelodeon. And not once did I see any ads related to, hey, there's a new season of Legend of Korra coming out. I didn't see previews. I did not see anything. And Nick has like 3 channels now. They've got Nickelodeon, they've got Nicktoons, and they've got Nick Jr. I'm not going to fault them for not advertising Korra on Nick Jr. because that's just not who their audience is going to be. But Nicktoons and just straight up regular Nickelodeon, I don't see any reason why they couldn't have advertised more heavily on that. And even if they didn't want to sacrifice their commercial time, they've still got their kind of picture-in-picture thing that they do, where it's like at the bottom of the screen you can see them do like a little ad. I never saw any of those related to Korra. Maybe they were just expecting the community and the social network part of it, the fan base, to just be able to spread around that this thing was coming. But that's a little bit unrealistic if you ask me. And the other thing I don't get is just from a programming angle why they feel the need to axe the season halfway through. I mean, really, what are they planning to run Friday night at 8:30 that's going to be so much better than Korra would be? Do they need to make room in the schedule for another 5-hour-long SpongeBob-a-thon? Not that I'm complaining about those, but you get what I mean. Okay, so I also want to tackle the idea that there's been some kind of a seismic shift in the way people watch television. Now, that's partly true. I think that TiVo has definitely killed appointment viewing, because you can just record things, go back and see them when you want to see them. But kind of this, people prefer to watch stuff online. I'm going to say I still watch TV because my TV doesn't need to buffer. The Nickelodeon site is not necessarily nearly as navigable as my TV menu. And also, Nick has been fairly tight-fisted with letting things leak out on YouTube. Now, frankly, I don't know if getting really grabby with your content on YouTube is necessarily a good marketing decision. I mean, Hasbro just let My Little Pony go all over YouTube, and it did nothing but help the show. Lately, they've sort of revised that opinion. And I think that's ultimately going to be to the show's detriment, at least a little bit. Because I don't think YouTube necessarily hurts the sales of DVDs, and here's why. If you're going to keep a tight hand on anything, it should really be like the DVD extras. That's creator commentaries, concept art, deleted scenes, and that sort of stuff. That, personally, is what I buy a DVD collection for. You know, if it's to see the movie, I feel like, typically, if I'm buying the DVD, I've already seen the movie. And I want everything that's going to go along with it. Now, like I said, the show part of the show is very, very good. But Korra does have a couple of problems. And I feel like most of them stem from the same source, the length of the show. Now, I crunched the numbers. Avatar: The Last Airbender ran for 3 seasons. Each one had around 20 episodes. I think Season 3 had like 21. That's about 60 episodes. 61 if I'm right about the last season. Now, Legend of Korra is going to run for 4 seasons. 2 of them have 13 episodes, 1 has 12, and 1 has 14. And that comes out to about a 9-episode difference between the 2 shows. Now, I know we're getting an additional season of Korra, and that kind of makes up for it because we're going to get a whole nother story arc. But what we're missing out on is one of the things that really made The Last Airbender as good as it was, is we got those nice kind of chill out episodes where it's just like the gang stopping somewhere, seeing something strange, which is not necessarily related to the big defeat the bad guy plot. And that's another problem with Korra. We've essentially had 3 seasons, 3 different bad guys, 3 different storylines, and we're always having to, just basically be in constant crisis mode. Not that we weren't in Last Airbender, there was always that sort of ticking clock, but still, with Korra, it's like there's always some new crisis coming up that they need to deal with. Now, with Last Airbender, we did have kind of mini arcs during each of the seasons, like how we kept changing the main bad guy. Like in the first season, it was Zuko, then it was Admiral Zhao. Then in the second season, it was Azula, and then they worked in the Dai Li, and finally it was, the big showdown between Aang and Ozai. But in Legend of Korra, it's just one group of guys, then second season, unrelated group of guys, and then third season, unrelated group of guys. They're not really tied in together nearly as tightly as Last Airbender was. And with the shorter length of Korra compared to Last Airbender, we're missing out on time that could be spent, with just character development and world development. We really got to know what the world was like in Last Airbender. And Legend of Korra, there are still a lot of kind of holes that they could have spent some episodes filling. But there's reason to be hopeful, because Season 4 is going to be going up on the TV just the way it should be. And I'm going to do my darndest to not get blindsided by this thing again. And Season 3 is going to get finished out, and it's going to get a proper DVD release, so everything's going to be fine there. So just fingers crossed on this thing. Alright, thank you for joining me for my Legend of Korra rant. I'm the Stupid Private. Thanks for watching.
Hey kids, today's show is brought to you by the letter 4 and the number potato! I'm a stupid private.